in tonight just to share with you the card making subscription from January and April. Earlier this last week I went over the unboxing of what came in the awesome little Lagoon box, the 24 cards and all the contents and stuff. Tonight I am going to put together the first card, and if you remember, in our card kits there are 12 different cards and you make 2 of each. So the first card I'm going to create is going to be as is, just as it comes with the things that are within the kit. The second card I am then going to jazz up just a little bit. And what's fun about this card tonight is it is a shaker card, so not a ton of jazzing needs to happen as it's already interactive and fun to play with to begin with. Inside your January-February catalog on page 3 is the information on the card making subscription. So you get to see all of the cards as they are put together and as they appear in all the contents that come within the box. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side over here. This is the Great Lagoon box that has all the contents. Inside it comes with the directions, so we are going to follow that in putting together card number 1 tonight. So card number 1 is this one right here. It's a shaker card that says just a note, and I have added my own little notes on here as to what I'm using to jazz up the second card once we create it. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side here. I've kind of already pulled out the things that we're going to need. It comes with the flower confetti, and that's what we're using in the shaker. It comes with the little black mini ink pad and the little block, and it comes with this awesome stamp set that has all the sentiments on. I also have our anti-static pouch here to help with the static, because those sequins are very staticky in this little baggie, which is another thing. When it comes, they come in a bag, whether they're standalone from the core catalog or the flower confetti ones, they're iridescent. These are in the January-February catalog. I dump those out and I use our craft jars. So these are our craft jars. If you have been with Close to My Heart before, you know way back in the day we used to carry the small little ones like this. These are much, much bigger. It's a screw cover, they're plastic, and it works perfectly for putting the sequins in, especially if you're using like the round ones and you want to put it onto your card. It's great to like kind of pick around in there and try to find the ones that you want. So I will show you what I will do with that. I also have my bone folder, and I have my piercing tool to help with the foam tape. So I've already taken out one of the foam tape images. So we're doing hearts in the shaker kit. So I will show you how to use the piercing tool to get that outer surface off of there to make the shaker. And I also have I don't know if you can see it very well, but the heart acetate. So I've already pulled those out of our shaker window foam kit. So I'll just throw that back in the box. Just wanted to show it to you. I also have already pre-punched. So you know what I forgot to show you guys when I did the unboxing, because I was in a hurry trying to get the video done to be able to get out and go get Nathan from wrestling practice, that I totally forgot to show you all the kit pieces. Like I showed you the card bases and the contents of the kit, but I didn't show you the actual punch outs that you use to jazz up your card, just like the cut above kits that we do for scrapbooking, and that you punch your images out. So this section right through here is listed as card 1. So I have already pre-punched those out, and I have 2 of them here because there's 2 cards. So I punched both sets of those out, and that was what was in here. Okay, so I'm going to put that off to the side as well. And I had already taken out the card base. So we will stick this over here. And then this is what we are going to work with tonight. So the first one is just going to be as is, as the instructions kind of tell us. And I don't know what is going on with my computer over there. There's a lot of beeping. This first card here, so it's also going to tell you in the instructions, shaker window assembly tips. So if you have never created a shaker window, it is super fun and super easy when you're doing it. So the first one, it's telling you to remove the outer foam from the inside piece. And I'm going to show you also a trick that sometimes it's hard to get that film off of there. I use the eraser, the rub and remove eraser, which is great for taking adhesive off of paper. You know, sometimes you get it and you drop something on and you get the adhesive where you don't want it. This removes the adhesive very easily. This also is perfect when you're trying to do journaling. I just learned this weekend. When you're trying to use when you draw a line to do some journaling on a layout, and then you finish your writing and you make sure it's completely dry, you can use the rub and remove eraser to erase that pencil line. I didn't know. I mean, sure, it's an eraser, but I didn't realize it was an actual eraser. When we're doing this, I'm not going to do it yet, but when we're using the film, if you're not able to, because right now there's not a side that is allowing me to peel it, you can use the rub and remove eraser to just do a little on the corner and it'll pull that film up, and I'll show that to you guys a little bit later. One side of this, you can tell which side has the film because it's more cloudy looking, and if you flip it over, the other side is more clear, like shiny. So this already does not have it on. This is the side that has it. So in preparation, we're just going to take our card base and I'm going to fold it in half, and that's why I have my bone folder here, just to give it a crisp fold. Okay, nice and smooth there. The other part that I'm going to show you is that I have so this is the foam. I'm going to bring it up here so that you can see it. It has all of these little teeny pieces inside here. Those are all kind of extras, right? So we're looking to use just this outer part to keep our sequins inside the shaker. These extra pieces inside here are then for you to be able to use if you want to use them on your layouts or on other card pieces to pop things up. But we will not be using the inside of this for this card. So in order to get that so it's a nice crisp where they're separated, I use this tool and I just trace along it so that it separates the adhesive from the tube, so it makes it much easier to pull the outer part off. Okay, I'm just tracing around there. And it'll make it much easier now when we are going to do this. So it's telling you, carefully remove the outer foam heart from the foam tape backing sheet and attach to the card front. Tip, leave the foam pieces on the backing sheet for later use. Okay, so as you can see here, they basically centered the heart, the amount of from the top to the bottom, and you have your diagonal running underneath it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, is there's a backing on here, and now that I have separated, see how easily this starts to come away now? If I hadn't separated them, I would start to get some of those little pieces stuck in here. Just because, and this stuff is pretty sticky. So with this, our foam tape, like this, for let me get that one right here. For our shaker cards, this is quite sticky. Okay, this is very sticky. So when you put it down, you want to try to get it down nice and straight. And it holds its shape very well. I pulled it right out of there, and you can see that it's still hard. It didn't disfigure itself. So I'm going to say that is about halfway in between and that direction. Oh my goodness, you guys, I got so excited about that part. We were supposed to put this piece down first, and that's why this is alive. So hopefully I can peel that right back up because I didn't push it down very hard. I was excited to show you my trick with the piercing tool. I forgot to put the heart actually down. See, even with pulling it off the paper, it stays. It didn't disfigure itself. All right, so I'm just using regular adhesive. And I'm just going to laugh at myself, right? Because something I would have done at a crop too. So I'm going to center that first. Up a little bit there. Okay, we're going to put that down. And now I'm going to take my anti-static pouch. So this has like talc inside of it. And I'm going to rub that across this heart. That will help the sequins not become so staticky and kind of stay put and not like fly all over the place. So I'm going to rub that on here. This is also perfect for turning your stickers not into stickers any longer. You put that on there, rub that on there, and they will not be sticky anymore. It just leaves a little bit of a film. Okay, now we can put our heart on here. And so you're just going to try to line it up on top of our heart piece right here. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we will be using this piece right here. I might as well pop out the center to cover that up. Okay. All right. So I'm pushing that on there now. And I'm going to leave that backing on here until I am done with the confetti. So I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to go to our craft jar here, and I will only do this once, so you won't see me do it in the future videos because it'll already be in here. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to take the anti-static pouch, and I'm going to run it around in here, so it too will help with the static when those babies come out of their baggie. And the other thing I do is I put it in the cover too. All right. Here is the new flower confetti, the iridescent. This can be purchased as a standalone at Z3906, and it is in the January-February catalog. Another thing I do is, this is little, right? You can see some of the powder there. I stick it inside the bag. So if you don't want to purchase the little craft jars, which are great because it keeps everything sealed, but so do the baggies. I do this from the start, is I put it in with the confetti, mix it around in there, hope, you know, trying to get some of it so that it's a little less staticky. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Okay, so that'll help a little bit more, right? And then there'll be some that is going to stick to the pouch, and I will just remove, but a lot of them aren't. Most of them, you know, it comes right off. And then I'm just going to pour those into the craft jar here. Look at that iridescent goodness. And I'm fine leaving a few of them in there because there are so many. All right. I'm going to pull some of these off of here. Okay, perfect. So now we have our jar of goodness in there. I want to have some of it on my fingers too, because I'm going to pinch some of them out and stick them into the card base. So I'm just gonna get this a little on my fingers, and you don't want to have too much in here. You want to have just the right amount, right? Because you want the cover, or the top of the foam, or the top of the acetate to stay on here good. And if your shaker is too full, you won't have a great seal on there. All right, let's get some of these off. They're still even sticking to my fingers even with all the powder. So, and the other thing we want to do is, before we take the backing off of the foam, is you want to be very careful and try not to let the sequins get onto that, because that will kind of like break the seal from where we're putting the acetate on. All right, so I'm going to start down at the bottom. I still have them stuck on my fingernails. All right, I'm going to start at the bottom, and I did good with and I don't want to speak too soon, with the static pouch. None of them jumped. Okay, so now we're going to take our acetate. They're still stuck on my finger. We're going to take the acetate, and I'm also going to rub the rub and remove eraser. I'm going to rub the static pouch. I am fumbling all over my words today. It was my birthday yesterday, and I did not go to bed very early. So I'm going to rub that on here on the shiny side to help it so that they're not jumping around when you assemble this. So this side has the film on. So I'm going to take the rub and remove eraser and just do a little on the edge there. And I don't know if you can see that here. It started to pull off. You see the little lip. I'm just going to pull that off right now. And that's garbage. And that had static on it, because as I flung it, it now is attached to my desk. And in the meantime, it looks like I got one little star that got caught in the foam, which isn't a big deal because it's a teeny tiny one. I'm just going to try to pluck that off quick. All right. And you can see, did you hear them suctioning in there? All right. So I'm just going to push that on there. All right, see? And now you have a pretty little shaker. We're going to add the fun little heart border. You see it's got little polka dots on there. And I am going to use, where's my tape runner? You could use glue dots, you could use liquid glass. This time I'm just using the close to my heart tape runner because it's more of the little dots that go on there, and then it doesn't, if it goes over the edge, it doesn't show a lot. And so then we just put this over to cover up that extra foam around the outside. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? Fun little shaker. All right, the sentiment that is used on that one, they used just a note. We have all these great images on here. You could mix it up and use whatever you want to, but I am just going to follow on this one what the instructions are showing us. And it had said, so we built the shaker with the assembly tips as listed. Stamp the sentiment on the banner die cut. So that's what we're going to do. So here was the banner die cut, and that is just going to go straight across on there. I am going to use just a note, which is right down here. So all of our stamps come with a the foam piece. And I am going to show you guys. So when it's a brand new stamp, you need to season it. And so they always recommend using the inside of your arm because your arm has oils, and that gets the stamps so they're not so tacky and so that the ink will stick to it. So just a couple times up and down on my arm, and you can see that it's not sticky anymore, and it's not as shiny, which is good. It means the ink will stick to it. So with our stamps, I was saying they all come with this foam insert, and that is to help. You would put that below the banner, and then we'd stamp directly on that. Every stamp comes with that, every time. What I love about our Versa mat, which is this right here, this is great for scrapbooking. It's a self-healing mat. It's great for scrapbooking because it's 12 by 12. You can keep your 12 by 12 piece of paper lined up perfectly. But the back side of it is foam. Okay, so you can do your stamping on the back of here, or if I didn't have this, my desk is hard enough, I could then use the foam on there. But I always like to flip it over and just do it that way. And I don't know that, oh, I never opened it yet, that's why. Like, what is going on here? Again, the piercing tool comes in handy. So, here's the card we're working on. Here is the sentiment we're going to stamp, which is just a note. With this little one like that, I like to use the ink and do it this way onto the stamp itself, instead of trying to do the, you know, line it up and try to hit it. This way I can see that everything is covered. And again, this ink pad and the block come with the kit. Every single month you get either a different size block. It's always the same size ink pad. It could be a different color. So we're going to line the just a note up right here. And you're going to push straight down. You don't want to rock because then you'll end up with like a double image. Okay? And then hold it for a little bit and then lift up. And that when you hold it just for a little bit longer allows that ink to settle in. All right, I'm going to shut that, set that off to the side. And then typically if I knew I was going to give this card to somebody and I didn't have to put it through the mail, I would add some of our extra foam from the shaker card to that to stick it up a little bit higher. If you know that it's going to go through the mail, this is already high enough. I would not add an extra one because then you might be looking at paying extra postage. Okay, so for this one I am just going to leave it flat and put my adhesive on, and it's just going to run across through here, so I don't need to put it on the very edges. So that is good, and that one will go right about there. All right, So that is our first card. This, it goes together super fast. This is how, when Close to My Heart put the kit together, this is what you would create, right? Very fast, very simple, very easy. The second card that I want to show you is I'm going to bling it up a little bit. So I am going to use the Mint Shimmer Brush. And what we're going to do on that one is, on our other pieces here, so on this one it already has what looks like a splatter, you know, a little watercolor here and then a little bit of a splatter to it. I am going to take the shimmer brush and I'm going to shimmer over the top of that, and then I'm going to do a little splattering on there, okay? The other part that I'm going to do in order to jazz this baby up a little bit more, I'm just going to pull up the center here, we don't need this. You could use that on another card or layout too if you want. The other thing I'm going to add is I'm going to use our diamond stickles. And I'm going to add the stickles onto the polka dots on the bottom of that card. I don't want to do a lot to it just because it already has the shaker, which is, you know, the iridescent is a lot already. So we don't want to put too much bling going on it, but I just wanted to show you how you can add and use other things from your stash that you already own to do this, okay? So let's get ready to create the second one. And I'm just going to set this one off to the side here. We'll leave that right above. Oops, this was the extra one. Oh, you know what I didn't take out is I didn't take out another set of the acetate and foam. So let's grab that. I grabbed one, but not the other. So there's the shiny side and there's the dull side. Okay, stick that back in the box so I'm kind of keeping everything together. All right, so again, starting from scratch, just like we did on the last one, here is the card base that we had. I'm gonna fold it and use my bone folder to get that crisp edge. And again, you guys, these come with envelopes too. So, and at the end of this, I'm gonna go over the pricing for these cards because it is a phenomenal deal. All right, let's see. Let's go back to this, and I'm gonna use my piercing tool again to separate the inner extra foam pieces from the outer piece that we're going to use as the shaker. I use this piercing tool for everything, you guys. I absolutely love it. I use it to help pick up my sequins. I stick a glue dot on the, you know, pick a glue dot off of my sheet with it, and then I just put it in here into, you know, my sequins, just like that, to get it. So now I have separated the outer piece from the inners, so we're good there. I am going to take the Mint Shimmer Brush because we're jazzing this one up. And I've already removed the neon yellow ring. So if you guys have not, if you've gotten your shimmer brushes and you've not used them yet, it has a bright neon yellow ring that's in the center. So you will, at that time, you'll unscrew it. This is the first time only. You would unscrew it, remove that yellow ring, screw it back together, and then squeeze the barrel a little bit until the ink goes down towards the brush, okay? If you have already removed it like I have, do not untwist, because when you untwist, that ink will go everywhere. Been there, done that, forgot that I don't have to unscrew it. I'm just pulling the cover off, okay? So it's screwed on tight. I always double check too. I make sure it's screwed on tightly. And never squeeze it over your project. Always squeeze it over scrap paper so that you don't accidentally ruin that. Trust me, been there, done that. And then you have to be creative on how you're going to clean that up. So I should have hung on to this. I always also test my shimmer brush before I use it. So I give it a couple squeezes. There we go. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different color, but it's going to add some bling to that. And it works perfectly with some of the leaves that are in there, okay? So I'm just going to go over that lightly. And it's going to add a little shimmer into there, okay? I'm going to lift this up so you can see that. Hopefully the camera, or my phone camera, will pick up the little bit of glitter and bling under there. Then to get some of the dots, you're going to want to remove things from around the edge of it. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. And what you can do is squirt it a couple times, not over your project, and then take your hand, just like this, and you're going to tap it. Okay? And it will start to put some color onto your thing. And it will also, sometimes it sends it other places. That's why I'm trying to keep it away from what I'm working on there. All right, so there's some little pieces all over, little dots all over. Love it. All right, so next we're gonna center that onto, and I'm just gonna take my hand and rub that off. I'm gonna center that onto the card here, just like we did on the last one. And I'm actually going to put this, we're gonna do it this way. Okay, perfect. This is going to get centered onto our card here from from all the way around, up above and on the sides. Okay, and while that dries a little bit there, I am going to take my anti-static pouch and I will go over that. In the meantime here, let's see, got all my pieces ready to go. Let's work on, this will be next. All right, yes. So let's do this. Put the static on there. Okay, it's dry enough. I didn't want to get too much of it on there. Okay. And then we're going to pull off. You'll see how easy it comes because we used the, you gotta get the backing though. You'll see how easy it comes because we did the piercing tool around the back of it. Okay. So much easier than if you don't use that piercing tool to break the seal there. All right. We're gonna line up our heart here. And the bottom piece is going to be bigger than your foam tape here. Also, if you are sending it through the mail, this works perfectly because it's just thin enough. It's not going to cause you to have extra. If you are hand delivering it or you are wanting to use shakers on your layouts, you could always double this up. So you could add another one because you get, I believe it's 6 of them in a pack. You could double that up to make it thicker so that you could put bigger or thicker sequins or items into your heart. Okay, so we have a bunch of that on there. So now I'm going to take my sequins. This one, I don't know if you can see how wide it is. There's a whole bunch of little flowers there that have not been, they did not separate. So I'm going to break some of those up a little bit here. All right. I'm going to put some of these sparkly little iridescent sequins in there. Again, less is more when it comes to these. You want to have enough to make it a shaker, but not too much so that it's the acetate doesn't stick to it. And again, try to make sure that your pieces are far enough away from the outer portion so that when you take that backing off, that it doesn't stick. Okay, looks like we're pretty good there. Next is I'm going to slowly pull that off. Here we go. You don't want your card to bounce around because otherwise those babies are going to fly all over the place. All right. And now we're going to take our foam acetate. And again, this is the shiny side. This is the dull side, so this is the side that has the foam. I am going to run the anti-static pouch over the shiny side so that when I go to lay that down on top of those sequins, they're still going to jump, but hopefully it won't be as much. All right, and we're going to use the rub and remove eraser to grab that, to get our it started. There, whoop, there it goes. I wasn't doing it hard enough. Okay, so we got the foam, or the film off of there. All right. Do you hear him jump? Cracks me up every time. All right. Press firmly down on there so that the acetate is sticking into your foam. All right. We got a shaker again. So next, and you can still see the glitteriness underneath the iridescent You can see the mint shimmer brush in there. Next, I'm going to take our heart and put some adhesive on there. Got a little flower. All right, like I said, it's going to cover it up so you don't see the outer edges. Perfect. Love the coordination. All right, we're going to stamp. I'll flip this over. We'll stamp our sentiment. So the other one we did was just a note. Oh, I didn't get my stamp chamois out. Oh, and it's not wet either. Let me use my spray bottle. Normally I run it under the sink so that it is all nice and wet. I'm going to do that away from my project. So it's nice and wet and ready to go. But I don't know if you guys have seen our stamp chamois before. These work great. So once it's dry, it needs a lot more water. I should just run over and get it wet. But when they are dry, they get crunchy. So just like an actual chamois that you would use on your car to, you know, towel it off after you washed it, does the same thing. At least it's gotten it wet and I can still use it a little bit. Normally it'll be like you can wring it out. Like it's round. You know, I'm afraid that if I do it now, I might break it or tear it. But it comes in two to a pack. So this one is definitely well loved, right? The other side I haven't used as much, but this front side I used quite a bit. And this was during the album retreat. So I am going to clean my stamp off from the last one because I'm going to change the sentiment up. So instead of just a note, let's try something else, shall we? We'll stick that one back on here. Let's use, how about thanks so much? I like that one. I like the cursive and the little flailing, you know, to the swooshes. All right. Okay. And again, it's brand new. Haven't used it. So I'm going to break it in by using the oils on my skin. Okay. And then we're going to take the cover off of it and ink it up. Okay. And then we're going to love the blocks. You can always see where you're going. I'm just going to hold it down. Don't rock it, but hold it for a couple seconds. And then you can lift up. Thanks so much. And I'm going to wipe that off right away. And I usually just, when it's wet, I have like a cereal bowl, like a throwaway cereal bowl that I keep it in, just so it doesn't get the rest of my projects all icky. So I just set it off to the side. So it's just a little, and when it's wet, it like more folds into that. Okay, so we have our sentiment done. Now, I'm not going to attach it right away like I did the last one. Just because on this one, the one on the left here, we are going to jazz up with the diamond stickles. And I was going to put the stickles on here. And so I want to wait, and then I will add that later so I can get to them all. So it'll take the stickles a little while to dry, so you won't get to see that right away probably. All right, oh, I threw my little scratch piece away. So here's the one that we had with the shimmer brush. I'll flip my mat back over. And I always just start it off, kind of shake it down. Usually shake it with your the cover on. You never know, right? And we're going to squeeze. Okay, it's ready to go. So that now I can chuck. And we're just going to do all the little, hopefully my head's not in the camera, all the little dots. We're going to work from, come on, there we go. We're going to work from left to right and top to bottom. Okay. I'm just going to put that. It's just going to add a little extra bling to our designs. Okay, so when I say top to bottom, we're using that top dot first, otherwise I don't want to have to, you know, start from right to left and then I'm righty, so then I'd have to go over them. It's just going to add that little extra bling on our dots here. Okay. Couple more here. Now that I got it started, it's going much better. And I love the diamond stickles. You can use those with everything because it's just got that pretty iridescent glitter to it, just like our sequins inside our shaker. After doing this for a while, my hand starts to cramp up. And our last couple. There we go. Set that off to the side. And I'm just going to bring it up here so that you guys can see. It's way prettier in person. I don't know if the camera's picking up the sparkle to it or not. But, so we added shimmer brush to that inside, and then we added our stickles to the outside of the card to get a little bit of a bling to it. And that is now in comparison to the original as corporate had created it. On this one, I am actually going to, and you know what? I must have touched this a little bit when it was wet, I bet, when I picked it up. So it's a little bit of a smudge there, which is all right. I am going to be very careful and attempt to still put that on. And as I said on this one, I am not adding extra foam to behind this, which you could, but it would double that up. And if you're going to mail it, it would be too much. So let's see here. Right about here. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm not sure when the next card I will be making. So in the month of January, so there are, like I said, there are 12 cards within the January, February, March, and April kit. And so in January, I'll do 3 of them. In February 3, March 3, and April 3. So January, we're running out of time because I had a whole bunch of other things that I've been working on. So I will hopefully maybe do another one tomorrow and then one on Thursday, so that we get our first set of 3 done. I absolutely love these. These come together so quickly. Even when you do bling them up a little bit extra, it's still very fast and easy. So I'm going to set those off to the side, and tomorrow, whether it's in the afternoon or tomorrow night, we are going to be making this card. This is card number 2, and I'll do it again the same way as I did this one, where you have the standard as Close My Heart originally created it, and a second one with what I decided to bling it up with. To go over a little bit of pricing for you guys, if you've not seen the original unboxing video, the Make It From Your, or the card making subscription program is offered in 2 different ways. You can get it on a 4-month basis, so you could order just the January through April, and when you do that, you get a 10% discount. So you get the same Lagoon box like this, with all 24 cards in it. You get the stamp set that we worked with, you get the block, you get the ink pad, you get the sequins in a baggie. I added mine to a craft jar instead. You get the foam tape and acetate sheets, and you get all the envelopes that coordinate with it. So you get a 10% discount on it, making it $49.95, and then it's $7.95 to ship that. So ultimately, out the door, your price is $57.90. If you want to make that even cheaper and you love doing fast and easy cards and you want to bling them up on your own or just leave them as is, you can do the annual program, which is what I do. So you would get that same Lagoon box 3 times a year. You would get it, I bought it in January, and then you would get it again in May and again in September. And so when you buy it annually, your card is charged up front, but you get a 20% discount instead of the 10, and you get free shipping. So instead of paying $49.95, you pay $43.95 and you don't pay $7.95 3 times, right? So that's $24 if you're buying it all separate in just in shipping. You get that free. It's billed annually, and so your card would, from the beginning, be charged $131.85. Now, I'm a numbers girl, right? I like to break it down. So here is my cheat sheet. Craft with Heart card subscription for a month. So if you buy this is for the annual version. The annual, it's a 20% discount, so you're getting it for $43.95. I am saying subtract $18.95 from that. Why? You're going to give those cards away, right? You're going to send them to somebody who's going to absolutely love them. You're going to use them. And so that is consumable. Everything on that is you used it and it's out the door and it's gone. You can't reuse that. However, this stamp set is not consumable. This stays in your stash and you can use it over and over and over on your cards, on your layouts, on your home decor, however you want to use it. So you get to keep that portion of it. So that's really a tool. And especially if you're one of my consultants who are in this group, this is a tool. This can be written off, right? I also write the card kit off because I'm advertising. I'm doing a Facebook Live. I am turning it into YouTube so I can prove that, right? It's at my advertising. So when you take that $43.95 and you subtract that $18.95, that leaves you $25. $25 to make 24 cards. That's crazy good. So $25 divided by 24 cards, that makes each card only $1.04. And if you're using stuff from your stash, right? I used a shimmer brush. I already own that. I use Stickles. I already own that. I didn't purchase them separately. You totally could if you didn't have these things and you really loved how it ended up looking when we created those cards. You can buy that all on your own. But again, you can reuse these things over and over and over. It's not a one-time deal. So that is what makes these card kits super exciting. Not only does everything come in the kit that you need, you can bling it up a little bit more if you want to, and they only cost you $1.04, and that includes the envelopes. So, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them down below or send me a private message. Otherwise, I am going to talk to you guys later. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep crafting, and look for card number 2 from the subscription tomorrow. Talk to you later.